Hey Miner fans, welcome to another edition of Chalk Talk. I'm Ben Wallis. I'm the head volleyball coach here at the University of Texas at El Paso, and what we like to do each week is kind of break down a little bit of film, some clips from our matches from the previous week, and talk through some of the things that we're seeing from our team that we can be better at, and also some things we're showing in areas of growth. So we're going to jump right in here into this first clip that is talking a little bit about some of the plan against teams like Western Kentucky that are real physical and great defensive teams, you know, similar to the Rices of the world that really put pressure on you defensively. You have to take risks in order to make sure that you're scoring at a high enough level to be able to side out with them because they put so much pressure on you offensively to be able to continually side out at a really high level. So in this first clip here is a clip of us receiving serve, and this is actually, I think, in the second set where Sarah Pustakia is going to be passing to attack in this rotation, and we've got actually a two-person serve receive here. And what we wanted to accomplish when we weren't passing perfectly, when we were passing the ball off the net a little bit, like you see here, balls off the net, it's a two-pass, is we wanted to be able to attack the edges of the block a little bit better and hit the volleyball away from our body and get bad hands, get defenders to lean a little bit more. And so what you see here is when we set this ball to Sarah here, she's going to jump up and face cross court and then turn her thumb up and hit the ball hard down the line, and she's actually trying to hit the setter's hands here and misses them, but she accomplishes what she wants to do, which is attack the volleyball away from her body and show a little bit more deception with power to be able to get a kill here. So love this swing and love this execution by our young freshman outside hitter. And when they give us those things, we were able to take them at times and be able to score in those circumstances. On this next clip, some of the things that Western Kentucky does to you defensively is that they have two elite middle blockers that can take stuff away from you in the middle of the floor, and they do it very deceptively. They're very good at giving you a little bit of space and then taking it from you late. We call it stock blocking. A lot of teams call it jump blocking. And what they want to try to do is make you feel like you have something and take it away from you late. So in watching film against Western Kentucky, we noticed that they do like to go get our outside hitters or opposing teams' outside hitters a fair amount. So what we wanted to try to do was kind of overload a certain side and kind of stress them out a little bit. Not in the middle of the floor where they like to be very effective, but a little off center. And so in this clip, you can see that we're going to run Kaya behind the setter here. And if you notice when I pause this after this perfect pass from Hula here, if you see where the middle blocker is, she's actually a little right of center, and she's closer to our outside hitters here, which is what they're very good at. They're very good at stopping people and stopping outside hitters and then jumping back into the middle of the floor to slow down middle blockers that think they have, or middle attackers that think they have space. So we put a little bit more stress on them by doing something behind the setter, and you see a perfect set here from Hyundai, and then Kaya's actually going to have one on none to attack this ball here to the middle of the floor. And so when we run it back and watch it at full speed, you'll see that we got what we wanted when we actually perfect passed and put a little bit more stress on their middle blockers, which was an area of emphasis this week to try to create some separation for our middles. In this third clip, we're going to watch a little block and dig stuff that we were working at, and we generally do this in our gym every week, but especially against an attacking team like Western Kentucky, who has an All-American outside hitter in Paige Briggs. Most really good attackers are never really going to hit their ball in the line of their approach angle. They're going to hit it a lot away from where they're facing. And so what we wanted to try to do in this clip here is we were trying to make sure that we were aggressive with our hands in the seam and take some things away from these outside hitters, not just Paige Briggs, number one here, but if you notice, this is almost a perfect pass, and so this is going to cause your blocking scheme to be late. Your middles are almost always going to be late if a team perfect passes, because you have to, protect the middle of the floor against their middle attack. And in this circumstance, it's a first or second team all-conference middle in number 20 right here. Here's again, Katie Eisenbarger, number 20 for them. And then what happens is you have Paige Briggs over here one-on-one by herself, and so she's able to attack against one blocker a lot. And so really good block and defensive teams can go one-on-one and make special plays, make individual block plays, and stop people. And that really helps take pressure off you to not have to constantly, be serving it so aggressively to get them out of system. And so when I clear this here, and we run this now the full speed, you'll see that SP is able to, let me run it back real quick, SP is able to stalk this attacker, and right here in the air, she's got a seam in the block, and SP's really good at moving her hands back into the seam and taking something away against an elite attacker and be able to stuff her one-on-one. That's a really special play by a very special blocker, one of the best individual blockers I've ever coached in Serena Patterson. In our final clip, we experimented with a different lineup this week, and actually almost the entire last 2 weeks, but in setters for middles here, we wanted to try to give the ability for our offense to have some flexibility and also some difference to it this late in the season, be able to show something different on film. And so in this setters for middles clip here, we wanted to have an opportunity to have multiple attackers hitting quick. And you see over here in this clip right here, you see Kaya and Ollie standing next to each other. Those are generally two middle blockers in our offense. And so that gives us a little bit of flexibility and opportunity to do some fun and creative things when you're passing it well. But also it causes some confusion for the other teams. And so we overloaded this side again in this clip. And when we start running it here, you'll see us, the target Torrance here with the serve. And she three passes this ball in the middle of the floor. And once I pause it, you'll notice that we have three blockers in 15 to 20 feet of space, and we wanted to try to overload them more with more attackers in smaller amounts of space, and then do some things a little bit against our trend. And they were trying to help inside and block Kaya here, who's been doing very well and scoring very well on the quick attack in the middle of the floor. And it allowed for us to set a back set a little bit quicker and get Torrance more one-on-one, actually one-on-none in this circumstance. And this was a little bit against our trend this week. We generally like to set this ball to our middle attacker or out to our outside hitter. And so in this circumstance, we popped this thing back to Torrance, and she had one-on-one and was able to bury this ball in the middle of the floor against a very good block and a very good defensive team. So good execution by our young group, and a really nice set by Honda to get that one-on-none for our attacker there. Thanks for joining us, Miner fans, for another edition of Chalk Talk. We're going to keep trying to find ways for our young, talented team to be able to overcome the likes of the Rice and the Western Kentuckys and the best teams in our conference. We're 5-2 right now. We actually have a home match against UTSA on Friday here in Memorial Gym. Again, we need you out supporting us again like you have been all year. It's been great, and our home crowds have been awesome. And then we'll get on the road on Saturday morning to Charlotte, where we play a really tough Charlotte team all the way across the country in Eastern time zone, and try to get 2 wins to keep us in third place in the conference right now in Conference USA. Picks up